Proceed. Alright. Cannon, I gotta shut it off for the next turn. I was wondering why that was going on. Alright, new mission, new file.
Command interface initiated.
Right out in the open.
Engaging jump jets.
Up high. Time to fly!
Engaging jump jets. Enemy detected.
Hello. The fuck, you can't jump at all. A locust. Come here. Show your face. Somebody with lasers.
Engaging jump jets.
Alright, let's see who we're dealing with. That is a commando and a locust. Oi. I just wasted a whole shit ton of money.
All weapons committed.
Ready for orders.
Yeah, Shadowhawk.
Affirmative. Reporting negative damage. I hear ya. Ready, set.
Yes, PPC the fuck out of him. You missed. Is this it? Just two of them? Just a commando and a locust? You are not even worth wasting fucking ammo on. Come here. Come here.
Engaging physical attack.
Waiting for orders.
I'm just
On
gonna
my way.
gang up on you and fucking haze you.
Dominating!
Jesus fucking shit!
Another hit like that and you're toast.
Holy shit!
Commander.
It's time for you to stomp on someone. But first...
Firing a full salvo.
Nyeh. I'll harm you. So Behemoth is going to stomp on you now.
Moving out.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ!
Destroyed.
The fucking humanity! Shit!
On you, Commander. This is gonna be good.
Fucking shit! That is fucking horrifying, okay? It is horrifying and hilarious.
Engaging physical attack.
Reporting major armor loss.
You,
Ready for
okay.
orders.
Just punch him.
Position confirmed.
Punch the shit out of him. Inspiring. Inspired. Jesus.
Mission successful.
Jesus Christ. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Locust. I can hawk that after it's built.
That mech you wanted is back online.
Alright, let's sell it. Scrap. Let's see. Well, to Alloway, 22 days. Oh my god, both of these are to Alloway. Max pay 554. Wait a minute. This contract includes travel to Alloway. Why does this pay? This is more difficult and it pays 554. Huh. Okay. Saving. Alright, that's a pretty big payout. I wonder why. Target the Free Worlds League. It's probably sending the wrong message for me to be using the symbol of the Free Worlds League while I decimate the Free Worlds League. Yeah, let's secure some funding.
Calculating force now, Commander.
Okay. Timeline pause, mech bay. Alright, no repairs necessary. Assassin, Blackjack, Crab, Cyclops. I have one of those. Marauder. Quick draw, okay. Hopefully, we can get our hands on a goddamn medium mech to fill out our lance. Hopefully that's what an added difficulty means. We'll be acquiring a medium mech. I remember I mentioned this before, but I ran into a Wolverine that was really fucking useful. It was really useful, especially when me and Andrew, who was along for the ride on the playtest, figured out that Decker's forte is stomping on things. Yep. What's the store say here? Assassin, Commando, Javelin, Jenner, Rifleman, ooh, Heavy Mech, Thunderbolt, Trebuchet. Quantity available to TBT-5N. Let's see. Phase. I think I've only got the storage. Oh no, I got 2 pieces for that trebuchet. Alright, well after this mission we should... I'm gonna go ahead and scrap the... I've got a commando chassis, I'm gonna go ahead and scrap that. After this mission, we should, hopefully... 96,000. We might hopefully have enough for that trebuchet, and I can finally have a goddamn actual lance, as opposed to 3 mechs in the seat of my pants. Proceed. Alright, let's do this. Becoming friends with a pirate faction. I might need to do that.
Command interface initiated.
That's pretty close to the spawn.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh, we're getting eager, aren't we? It says it was more difficult, so I'm gonna assume that means a medium mech is here.
Ready, set.
Oh, this is the road that I'm demolishing.
Engaging jump jets.
No contacts yet.
No sweat.
So in Mech Commander, you would make people jump to like level them up a lot. You basically just like have them jumping constantly. Okay, let's take the high ground.
Engaging jump jets. Enemy detected.
Lifting off. Uh-huh.
Vehicles.
Waiting for orders. Affirmative.
Engaging jump jets.
This has got a little question mark above him. What? What was that noise?
Yes, come
Like he doesn't understand that he just saw an enormous goddamn battle mech just fly in the air in front of him. He does not believe a battle mech could fly, but you do. Striker. Pathetic. Bye.
All weapons limited.
25. Okay, so
Destroyed.
there is a mech in here, or another vehicle somewhere.
Waiting for orders. Roger. Taking the shot. Vehicle down. What can I do for you?
There it is. Four vehicles.
Waiting on you, Commander. Got it. Orders. On my way.
We call this a turkey shoot.
Acknowledged.
Engaging target.
Four vehicles. 500,000 C-bills for four vehicles. Excuse me. I'm tempted to have her just stomp on you. No, I don't want to. I don't want to bust up this mech just for a stupid tank.
Firing full complement. Reporting. Enemy vehicle eliminated. I hear ya. Taking the high road.
Die.
Here we go.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Knocked out a vehicle.
Easy money.
Mission successful.
Payout. It's got a big ass payout though. Big ass payout. Lots of XP. Shit for salvage. I guess I'll take the LRM-10. $21 days. Alright. Do we need any repairs, Yang? No, we don't. Fantastic. Okay, contracts. Is there another contract here? Of course there's not. Oi! Store. Okay, all 50-ton medium. Okay, I can buy that trebuchet now. One of the lightest dedicated ferry sport mechs to be found, the trebuchet 5N can mount enough missiles to give even heavy units pause. However, trench buckets are known for running hot and don't have much in the way of protection. So, give this thing... Well, it's what we got. When it's what you got, it's what you got. Accept.
New equipment available.
Amount of missiles, give even heavy units pause. Alright. Alright. So we finally got ourselves a lance. Phase. So we've got ourselves a trebuchet. And, storage. Phase. Okay, so we got ourselves a trebuchet, and, breaks it down for storage. Okay, pattern 7 looks pretty cool on you. This is not going to be Decker's mech, because Decker needs something that's big and stompy. And we've had somebody sitting on the sidelines for too long. So this isn't going to be Deckard's mech. Or Deckard. I just called him Deckard. He's Dan. Now he's Decker. He's Dan the Decker. Now he's Dan Deckard the Decker. Yes. Refit. Alright. LRM 15s. Extreme range. Medium lasers. So this thing runs hot, is what it says. Which tells me that I don't necessarily want medium lasers on this thing, because... Okay. I don't necessarily want medium lasers on this thing. Mainly because medium lasers generate a fuck ton of heat. Equipment. Let's see. Put a heat sink on there. And jump jets. No. Let's see, weapons. Okay, it doesn't have any place for a flamer. Only missiles. So it only has room for lasers. Jesus. 25. Damage 40. Range long. Let's put a long laser on there. Let's not put a long laser on there. Let's see. Let's see. Tonnage 1. Let's see. LRM 50. It had an LRM 15 on it. 4x15, range extreme. X10, 2x10. Yeah, these other M15s seem great, but they're also taking up a shitload of ammo. Okay. Average range. Let's take those LM15s off and put some LRM10s on. Let's see. Let's put a large laser on. SRMs. Available missile hardpoints. This thing is... Okay, so this thing is actually really fucking... Whatever it changes. And no heat sinks. Okay. Let's get rid of one of these and put a fucking heat sink on it. Just so it doesn't immediately destroy itself. You know what? I'm gonna see weapons and a large laser, and it's overweight. Motherfuck! But that's this the heat sink. Okay, fine. Toss in a heat sink and lose one of the medium lasers. Confirm.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
That's a really severely limited... I guess he's straight up sniper. He has to be. He could do nothing else. Yeah. That's just oof. Okay, barracks mech warriors.
Waiting for orders.
Hey, guts.
Ready for orders?
Commander?
Commander.
Medusa.
Good to go.
Orders.
Waiting for orders.
Can't afford gunnery yet. Let's see. Hey. What? I suppose I should talk to people.
Need something?
Hey, boss. Welcome to the mech bay. Let's see. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you wind up with this crew? That's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you? I signed on after I served my term in the Third Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. Oh, you're gonna betray the shit out of me later, aren't you? If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Where are you from? Bryant in the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley lizard cow. An edible reptile indigenous to the planet Bryant. The meat of the Crowley lizard cow is considered a delicacy and is one of the Bryant's few planetary exports. No? Well, trust me, they're delicious. Anyways, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once, a tourist spot, big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts, pale blue skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. I never knew it that way, though. Stefan Amaris got to it a couple centuries before I was born, and well, that was that. I feel like if it's going to show a bio on Stefan Amaris, it needs to have, like, Vincent Price's cackling from Thriller whenever you highlight his name. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors, as they called them. Oh, no. He turned them into solar death rays. The Star League put him in place. When Amaris took the system in the Civil War, he had his troops use them for target practice. Oh, okay. He just blew them up. Without those mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit a planet's entire population into a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in Bryant cities even now. Let's see. Tell me about your time in the military. Who'd you serve with? The 2nd St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion, under Major Ling. We saw more action than most. This arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Louis. You know, when we first arrived at St. Louis, I loved the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery. The Fed rats drove us out in '05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. I remember kicking back in the mech bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping a snifter of Ambergist vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. Anyway, turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. Oops. That's how Stavian. We were barely a month into our deployment when they sent the SETI Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure there were sound strategic reasons for House Dabian to want St. Louis, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of their scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost 2 of my favorite assistants and my own right arm, and I've got this ugly thing grafted onto me as a reminder. And yet here I am, doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the compelling Confederation? After my tour of duty was up, you mean? I don't know, it was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore. In a way, it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. Got a first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture, how it regards high-born idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I packed up my things and made a beeline for the periphery. Seemed like as good a place as any to find a new beginning. For what it's worth, I'm glad that you made the choice. You brought my mech back from the brig more than once. Yep. You'll never really get away from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, I'm going to select the second one. Way more than once, if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words. And for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here with this crew. Going career military would have been an enormous mistake. You never really get away with from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, but you're a competent noble, and you aren't afraid to get your hands dirty. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. I wonder how many times I watch talented engineers get passed over for promotions so some idiot with a title could advance. Too many to count. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else. Okay. I'm interested in this. Alright, I got a few questions about the mech bay. And he's going to explain to me shit that I already know. Talk to you later.
Come back anytime.
Alright, let's go talk to people.
How can I help, Commander?
Let's see. I'm collecting stories about the crew. Tell me something about yourself. Well, I'm from a noble family, like you. We're old money, made our fortunes out in Russelhog, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordat. That's where I grew up. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you were hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Where in the Concordat are you from? I grew up on New Vandenberg. It's a nice enough place, I suppose. Do you like birds? Sure, I guess. Absolute condor. Then you'd like New Vandenberg. It's basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters on the wind, and splatters its excrement across every available surface. That's us. That's absolute condor. Shitting all over mech warriors, the mech warriors that we encounter. Usually with big stompy robots. Naturally, the original colonists adopted feathery little monsters into the culture, and those of us that came after were kind of stuck with it. Statues, fountains, murals, you name it. Just a giant feathery pile of screeching alien birds. If the system had a motto, it'd be squawk. Cute. Maybe if I hadn't grown up with it. Where'd you learn to pilot a leopard, anyway? The Taurian Naval Institute, or on New Vandenberg. Well, among other places. It's a big campus. The low-gravity training station orbiting Lompuc was my second home for a time. T&I flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had good credit back then, and they could name-drop Protector Calderon. That'll get you pretty far in the Concordat, for a while anyway. The other cadets in my class weren't especially happy with sharing air with the civvy, but they couldn't say much. I was nobility, and they weren't. Everyone sort of kept me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. I got my certification in both dropship and jump ship operation in 4 years. I even tried working on a commercial jump crew for a while, once upon a time. The people were fun, but it wasn't for me. The ratio of flying to violent jump sickness skewed hard in the wrong direction. What can you tell me about House Mayor? You're looking at it. My parents are both gone. Blood cancer and heart disease, respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve in the Third Succession War and never came back. I'm no stranger to loss myself. Yeah, I'm sure you're not. Nobody is, really. It's a rough galaxy. David was 13 years older than me, and had a foot out of the door before I turned 3. And my parents, well, they raised me by proxy, in the traditional noble fashion. There was no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringings have been outsourced, just like mine was. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about my family. They're gone, I'm here, the end. So you got another question, or shall we get back to our duties? Your family came from Rosselhog. It was a long time ago, but yeah, as my parents told it, we were landowners on Pomme de Terre. It's an agricultural world, sort of the breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. Ooh. And yes, I know that Pomme de Terre means potato. My ancestors came from the planet Potato. It took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Anyway, moving on. House Mayor's holdings were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. For minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then the Third Succession War broke out, and the political rhetoric got ugly. House Mayor didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. As a rule, House Kurita takes a really dim view of nobles who cut and run. Words like traitor and defector start getting thrown around. In the Combine, you really don't want to be on the receiving end of allegations like that. I wouldn't be standing here today if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors asylum in the Concordat. In all likelihood, House Mayor would have been wiped out before I was even born. Alright. I gotta get back to it. Talk to you later, Samir.
Commander?
Alright. Let's go talk to Darius.
You got questions? I have answers.
Oh, it's good to see you at Ops. Can I do something for you? Got a few minutes to chat? I'd like to catch up. Yeah, sure. I got time to talk. Before any of this started, you worked with the Irana Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just a deployment. It was a full campaign. High Lord Tamati gave us the job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjaldr. Commander Markham thought it'd be easy money. Turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen mech warriors in the 3 months of the Fjaldr campaign. Had to hose them out of their cockpits. Yeesh. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it. And the thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection. We were the hired help. A lot of people in Mastiff's position would have used us as cannon fodder. But that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man. As good as they come. Tell me a bit about yourself. Where are you from? I grew up in Nassau Heights. It's one of the HAB stations orbiting Archru. 30 decks of economic stratification, with the corporate suits on the upper decks and everyone else crammed into the lower ones. My old man was a dockhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, my dad would load and unload cargo shuttles. Vacuum-sealed quiller and nutrient paste for people like us, and luxury goods for the suits upstairs. The old man must have unloaded 1,000 cases of Casildan, eel roe, plump, succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any, though. Any one of those tins would have cost him half a year's wages. Anyway, I don't want to saddle you with my life story. Suffice it to say, I got an eye full of what I didn't want to be on Nassau Heights, and I did what I had to do to change my circumstances. By the age of 16, I struck out on my own. I left that station with a handful of skills, an enormous web of contacts, and a rucksack full of that expensive caviar. And once I made it off Nassau Heights, I never ever looked back. I want to know more about her debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to go into the nuts and bolts if you do. What do you want to know? Remind me why we took out so many loans in the first place. How much time have you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Cormadir, but I guess you're mostly interested in the big-ticket items. Well, first and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you've got all the assorted fallout from our impromptu trip across the frontier, jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit, as if we had a choice. There's more that I could get into. The loan we took out to set up Markham's family, etc. But that'd be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders, but hey, we're mercenaries, and we live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top 3? First, you got Blue Horizon. That's the big commercial bank on Lyrichan. They're the ones that own the lease on this ship. And then there's the Indri Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from one of their associates to make the jump away from Cormadir on the day of the coup. Finally, you've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Haster, and they're about as crooked as they come. Now, I wouldn't normally do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half our debt. So that's the big three. A commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits. And each of them is dangerous in its own way. I've got some questions about running this company. Oh, tutorials. Alright. Gotta run, Darius.
I'll see you.
I feel like I want to take our new mech for a spin. Let's see. What deals can we wheel?